Hello everyone, and today I would like to talk with you about the discovery of the electron. Previously, people thought, of course, that matter consists only of molecules and atoms, and here people discover cathode rays. Plyukker discovered cathode rays. But William Crookes created exactly where you can see cathode rays. He studied these cathode rays and saw exactly the same glow. And then many people began to be interested in this glow, and Plyukker discovered cathode rays in general, so that we would not confuse between these two scientists. After the Crookes tube, after he told, so to speak, the structure, we connect the anode, the cathode and discharge the air, or rather not the air, but the gas that is in the tube. We pass a high voltage and get a glow at the end of this tube. Then William Crookes, he, as it were, also began to study, be interested in this, set up various experiments. As you can see here with him, he put a cross in front of the flow of these particles. Then Thomson began to be interested in cathode rays in general. Thomson decided that these cathode rays should be passed through an electric field, and if they deviate or not deviate, this will give us, as it were, some reasoning about how these flows are charged. Here are the flows. If they deviate, then most likely they are negatively charged. If, of course, they are just the same. Thomson's experience showed that when the cathode rays are between the capacitors, they deviate. They deviate, which means that we have particles that create this glow, they are negatively charged. And after conducting a lot of experiments, Thomson introduced such a new concept. Then he decided to introduce a new concept at the Congress, a new concept as an electron. But after Thomson's experiments and after, I will now say tubes, one of the scientists, Philipp Lenard, became interested in this too. He wanted to study cathode rays outside the tube. What did he do? He took a glass tube and made a hole in the glass tube. And for this we can say, for this contribution to development, namely the understanding of cathode rays outside the tube, he received the Nobel Prize. But this slit that he made on a glass tube was called Lenard's window. That is, it was possible to observe and study cathode rays outside the Crookes tube. But it is usually covered with aluminum. Then such a scientist became interested in this. After Lenard, Roentgen became interested. Roentgen worked very hard in the laboratory until late. Stayed in my lab, and one day he noticed a strange glow. He connected voltage to the tube and suddenly saw a glow at a distance of a meter. After turning it off, the glow disappeared. In this experiment, a screen was illuminated, which was covered with barium platinocyanide, that is, a fluorescent substance, and then the experiments showed that these cathode rays differ from those rays found by Roentgen. Then Roentgen called them, of course, X-rays, and we now call them X-rays. Just the same, he realized that the air did not absorb them, the rays could freely pass through certain objects. That is, their penetrating ability was better, it passed through solid materials, living tissues. And then he took the first picture of the brush of his wife, who helped him. By the way, also in experiments, here in the photo you can see that he is holding his invention, his X-ray tube. And then the fun began here. The most interesting thing after he has already discovered Thomson, announces the discovery of the electron. After he discovered the electron, he put forward a new model of the atom. He puts forward what is now called the pudding model, but just the same, his student Rutherford, he will refute this model in the future. In the next lesson we will talk about how he did it, how he refuted, what scheme he made. In general, everything is so interestingly connected, that is, people are people for the first time, scientists are faced with the fact that there is something else inside the atom, and then Rutherford will say that inside the atom there is not only an electron, there is also a nucleus, and then, as it were, nuclear physics will begin to advance. That's all there is to it. In the next issue we'll have Rutherford's experience, hopefully. That's all I wanted to tell. We owe a great deal to the discovery of the electron, to the study of electricity in gases. You see how everyone had a hand, so to speak. Have a good day.